Hi, and thanks for tuning in to Uncapped Agent. We call ourselves Uncapped Agent because we are a 100% commission brokerage that also offers revenue share. So, whenever you're at a revenue share company, you create an environment of collaboration because when one of us does better, we all do better. So, it's one thing that I really like about working here at Call It Closed. And also really want to take time to highlight some of our top producers and high selling agents.
I'm a top producer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
That's so nice to hear.
You are. I mean, you have like 4 active buyers right now.
I have 5.
So yeah, you're doing incredible. And if you know Felicia, she needs no introduction, but this is Felicia Casper. She hails from Cambridge, Minnesota right now, but you haven't always lived up there.
No, I've usually lived in like the east suburbs kind of. White Bear
Hmm.
Lake is kind of like my stomping ground. Makita just ruined our video. um, kind of the east suburbs. I'm a West Coast girl. Love the
Hmm.
West Coast, but I love East Side Minnesota, like St. Croix Valley type sort of
Oh
area, stuff like
yeah.
that.
Hmm.
White Bear is kind of like where I grew up most of my life. White Bear, Lino Lake. So
It's a great city.
yeah.
That's like one of my favorite cities. Just because it's like so close to St. Paul, but it's also such a small town feel. It's such a
Hmm.
good spot to be.
Yeah, and it's really a different feel. Like North Oaks is a part of that too, but it's all like, I don't want to say this like, but it's all old money. So like everyone's really humble about like where they come from there,
Hmm.
and so it makes it a lot easier to like interact with the people there. Yeah.
Like everybody knows each other.
Kind of.
Hmm.
It's such a big city. There's a lot of people, but everyone kind of knows each other because they all like grew up together.
I feel like old money is such like a funny phrase too, because like old money can just mean like secure money.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
obviously depending on where you are, but a lot of times in Minnesota, like there are some very wealthy people here. I definitely don't want to discredit that, but the old money means like okay, everyone in the family has lived in the same house their whole life,
Hmm.
and you know that the house is paid off, so they can just be on the boat all summer long and
For sure.
like have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like wealthy, that's one thing I like about Minnesota is like wealthy to a lot of people means something really different.
It does. It does. Because you can be wealthy in money ways. You can be wealthy in like adventure ways. Like, so wealthy is just a different vibe here in Minnesota in general.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Um, how did you get into real estate?
oh my gosh. Okay. So that's a long story. But I'll try and shorten it as much as I can because we know that I
I
can
mean, we're
talk
on
a
a
lot.
podcast,
I mean,
so
that's fair. So I got into real estate. I was a massage therapist for about 12 years. COVID hit, kind of changed the entire like
oh
massage
yeah.
therapy spa field. And I just kind of was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do anymore because like everything shut down. And so I didn't have a job for 6 months.
So is it just because like you didn't have a job, that's why you didn't do it? Or I can imagine like any kind of manual labor gets exhausting.
I mean, it does. It does for sure. Thankfully, with the schooling that I had, like body mechanics were really like ingrained in you type of thing.
Hmm.
So like I didn't get too tired doing it because of the fact that like I had really good teachers who taught me how to use my body in order to like not get fatigued from the physical labor of massage therapy.
Hmm.
Um I do know that I'm more of an empath than a lot of people, and I mean in order to be a massage therapist you already have to like kind of be into energy work, and I know that's weird to say like because a lot of people are like energy um and so but I was really susceptible to like feeding off people's emotions. And
Mm.
so that's where I got fatigued more than like actual physically. It was more emotional fatigue.
Which, if you came to real estate, if you
Ah,
came to real estate to not be emotionally fatigued, I'm so sorry.
yeah, it was a bad. It wasn't a bad move because, like, with this one, like, I'm not touching people. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot harder to feed off people's emotions when you're not, like, physically in contact with them.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like, my phone rings at midnight and I still want to answer my phone because,
I do too.
like, that's, like, I feel for them when they call me at midnight.
Yeah.
And I want to be there for them. But then I'm like, the reason you got into real estate is to have those boundaries.
Mm.
So, yeah,
Boundaries are so hard to enforce when they're attached to a paycheck.
for real. And let's be real. Everyone says that they're in real estate to, like, help people and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, your paycheck is important too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have to feed your family or yourself, or, like, I do it for my dogs.
Yes, they do need to be spoiled.
For sure.
Okay. So you so you got into real estate just because COVID.
COVID happened, and for 6 months I was out of a job. When I went back to massage therapy, it was just a very different vibe and feel. And so then I was like, you know, I don't know if massage therapy is the thing for me anymore, like the spa environment. I didn't want to go and do it on my own. Running your own massage business is really complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of, like, extra things to do compared to real estate. Like, with real estate, like, I feel like you can run your business kind of any way you want. With massage therapy, there's a lot more things in place that you have to take care of in order to run your own business.
So you were running your own massage business?
No,
Okay.
no. I just didn't want to go and do it on my own, but I also didn't want to be in a spa setting anymore. And so my aunt at the time was the broker at a KW, and she posted that they started doing their scholarship program.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom sent it to me and was like, hey, look at this. Like, you've always thought about real estate. Like, I've been going to Parade of Homes since I was little. I thought about being an architect for a little while. Things like
Cool.
that. Yeah. So I've just always kind of found that to be really intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, what do I have to do? Like, I sent a message to my aunt. I was like, what do I have to do to, like, get into this scholarship program and stuff like that? And she told me, and it's just been
Coasting.
real estate since then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. What was your first transaction like?
So my first transaction was never actually a transaction. The team that I joined when I started helped a lot of veterans, and the first client I ever had was overseas in the military.
Okay.
And so my 3 a.m. was their, like, 8 a.m.
Oh, no.
And I still hadn't set those boundaries. I've been in real estate for 5 years, and so I still hadn't set boundaries on my time yet. And I was a night owl at the time, so for me it was like, okay, not a big deal. Like, 3 a.m. for me was like a 10 p.m. for normal people, you know? So I was just
Okay.
kind of like, my first deal, like, I don't really care. Like, I want to get a deal under my belt. Well, then they never bought.
So you had a lot of midnight chats for.
Yes.
Why didn't they buy?
They were overseas. They just weren't ready. Like, Dad became a part of the transaction, and
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That'll
So,
do it.
yeah.
Do you have a lot of dads who talk their kids out of buying houses?
No, actually.
Not after that.
Usually my dad, so my dad and I have a weird relationship. My dad is very much, like, very stubborn and sarcastic and stuff like that. So I'm usually pretty good at handling the dads.
Mm-hmm. The dad vibe.
Yeah, but I did have one where it was like a 1920s house. We went into it. It was a really solid house. Like, even the inspector was like, for a 1920s house, this house is great. There was like 4 or 5 things on the inspection, and the dad came to the inspection but hadn't come to anything else. Literally, like, yelled me out of the house. But then a week later, we bought a house in a different city, and he, like, apologized to me, and we were fine.
Yeah. It's just like it's so hard. Like, it's one thing to have your parents involved in every step of the transaction. Like, if they're there and they're looking at every single house with you,
Mm-hmm.
because then they see, like, okay, there's a reason we bought this one compared to all the others.
Yep.
And if they just show up at the inspection and they didn't see, like, okay, in our price range, like, we
Mm-hmm.
can't really
Exactly.
get much. Like, we just need to get into the market so that we can get a foothold here. Then then you upgrade to the house that the dad is probably used to living in
Yep.
with like the like brand new
Mm-hmm.
construction and like there's a very different thing to look for the starter home versus what most dads live in. So
For
it's just
sure.
hard if they're not a part of the whole transaction.
Exactly. Exactly. So, they bought their house 20 years ago and we
Yes.
are buying now. And the market has fluctuated so much in the past 20, 30 years.
Well, and someone who bought a house 20 years ago, you could for 100,000 in the Twin Cities, you
Hmm.
can get it a 3-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage in a
Yeah.
good
White
neighborhood.
picket fence, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now for 300,000, like you're sacrificing something.
Something, anything,
Yeah.
you know. So,
But yeah. Okay. So that was your first transaction. And
mhm.
then where do you think you get most of your business from these days?
I work with a company called Veterans United.
Mm-hmm.
And so I work with them a lot. I have veterans in my family.
Mm-hmm.
My first team worked with that company. So I just knew that that was kind of something that I wanted to stick with. And so I've been using them for all 5 years of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I get most of my business from. But then friends and family, word of mouth, things like that.
Okay.
So I'm really bad at social media. And so
I
I
don't
never
think
get
you're really
anything.
bad.
I mean, when's the last time I posted on social media? Probably like 2 months ago.
Well, this is getting posted, so tricked you.
Oh my goodness.
um, so what do you think? I know you work with a lot of veterans and family. What
Mhm.
do you attribute most to your success?
Um, Perseverance probably.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't want to say that like I have a lot of hardships in life because I don't. Like there's things that happen in other people's lives that I wouldn't be able to handle. But I persevere through a lot of my like daily struggles. I have ADHD and OCD, and so like having to push through those things every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's got to be hard, like with your own mental health issues, and then also being an empath and like soaking in everything. Like that.
mhm,
That's got to be hard.
for sure.
Do you have any tricks to like kind of balance that out?
Um, so yes and no. I used to not. But now I'm a little bit better at like when I feel overwhelmed, like taking time for myself. I'm a lot better at setting boundaries with people ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few years ago, um, my mom brought something up to me when I said earlier that like there's other people's issues that like I wouldn't be able to handle. My mom brought up to me, and I'm not a very religious person. We've had these conversations before. I'm agnostic, so I believe in
Mm-hmm.
something, just not sure what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my mom brought up, because she was religious, brought up the fact that um, I was having a spiral. That's what I call them when I mentally break down for a day or something. And
Just taking a little break.
yeah, yeah. And I was kind of having a spiral, and my mom looked at me one day and she was just like, do you ever wonder if like God gave you this problem because they knew someone else couldn't handle it? And so like that thought now like shuts kind of down like when I start to spiral, like, hey, I'm handling this and someone
Yeah.
else might not be able to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that helps a lot.
I think like kind of on that note, I had a friend one time. I was complaining about whatever problem I had. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I know you're going through something worse. And she goes, stop right there. Trauma is trauma is trauma is trauma. And we all go through our separate issues at separate times. So, like, you can't ever compare the traumas that someone else is going through and say, like, oh, but yours is worse. There is no worse. There is
Yeah.
no.
So going back to that and going back to me being a massage therapist, I worked on someone once and she was like, and this might gross some people out because feet were one of my favorite things to work on.
Okay. We all know
I'm a
what that
weirdo.
means,
I'm a weirdo.
Felicia.
It's fine. But a lot of people's feet don't get touched on a regular basis. So like it's a solid point to work on for people. And so like I went to work on this lady's foot and she goes, please don't touch my toes. She goes, I have a hangnail on one of them. And I was
Okay.
like, okay. I was like, well, how long have you had it for? And she's like, I don't know, like a couple weeks. And I was like, or an ingrown toenail, sorry.
Yeah.
And she goes, a couple weeks. And I was like, and you haven't like taken care of it? And she goes, well, they're starving kids in Africa. It's not really that big of a deal. And I was like, wait, I literally stopped touching her. And I took a minute and I was just like thinking to myself, and I looked at this lady and I was like, is your toe bothering you now? And she goes, yeah. And I said, could this toe potentially like become infected? And she was like, yeah. And I said, can you feed the starving kids in Africa today? And she was like, no. I said, but you can fix your toe.
Did she go to the doctor?
Yeah.
There you go. See, like, and then you start looking at other people's problems. And I think that very much feeds into a lot of times, like, we have imposter syndrome as realtors. And you're like, well, that person does so much business. And this comparison is never going to help you.
No, not at all.
Never.
Not at all.
And like, even when you look at the top producers, they're not comparing themselves to each other. And if they do, they'll say, hey, that was a really good deal. How did you get that client?
Exactly.
90% of the time it's going to be Sphere or they were working on, but it's more of like a trade secret
For sure.
versus a comparison. Because like, just put your head down, work hard, and you'll get business too.
Exactly. My favorite thing about top producers is they always want to be in a room with people that are smarter than them or making more money than them. So they're never comparing themselves to them. They just want to be in the room that's making the most good decisions so they can learn from them, not compare themselves to them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And yeah, when you look at the top producers, there's no comparison. There really isn't.
No, not really.
Was that something outside?
I feel like our AC unit is making like wave noises. Did you get a special setting on it?
By outside or something? I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Distracted. Anyway, so if you could go back to, well, how long have you been doing real estate?
5 years.
5 years. And if you could go back to look at year one, Felicia, what would you say to her to help her build a more consistent business?
Use your calendar. I've always been terrible at using my calendar. And checklists. Checklists are my favorite things ever. And I didn't use checklists enough when I was first starting out.
I'm about to blow your mind if you don't know this already. So we use Google systems. So we have Google Calendar, which can sync. On the Google Calendar, there is a task list in there. Yeah.
I need to learn more things. I feel so old when you tell me these things.
Like, it's great when you've got your like paper checklist. Because I'm a millennial. I like to write things down and check them off. But
I still think you have ADHD because that's definitely an ADHD thing, not a millennial thing.
I know, but if I get diagnosed, then I have to treat it.
That's
fair. So, but like, if I do my checklist at the office, then I go home and I don't have my checklist, it gets lost. If I have the task list on here, then I never lose it. So use the tasks in Google. There's an app for it too. You can download separately.
Yep. Good to know.
Yeah,
I'll have
but
to start using it.
Using the calendar has been a game changer for sure. And then like I started using it and now my schedule is pretty packed. So someone will be like, hey, can I just do something like 10 minutes late? And I'm like, well, no, I only have 20 minutes with you. Yeah. Which, whatever. You know, you got to be a little flexible.
It happens.
Because the old me used to be like, oh, yeah, we can just be flexible. And the next person I'd be 20 minutes late for. And then the next person I'd be 30 minutes late for. And
yep.
Yeah. It's
because we Minnesota goodbye. That's the problem.
Minnesota goodbye. Yeah. Hey, I got to go. Well, one quick question before you leave.
No. You've been teaching me the art of Irish goodbyes, and it's helping me so much.
It helps a lot. Yeah. Like, I don't know if the podcast can catch the audio, but we had people downstairs at the beginning of this podcast, and I know they're going to Irish goodbye by the time we're done talking.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So, okay, you've been doing this 5 years, and you would do a calendar. Is there anything that you would do like tell new agents as far as like generating new business?
I'm trying to think. I did a lot of open houses when I
Mhm.
first started. I shadowed a lot of other realtors. I wanted to be as knowledgeable about everything as I could be.
Mhm.
So another thing I did was I would go to like all of my inspections and like meet with my inspectors and walk through what they were
Yeah,
doing while
that's
they were
huge.
doing it. And that helped a lot. Generating new business wise, like I said, a lot of open houses. If you door knock, like if you do the 20-20-20
Mhm.
like thing, or 30-20-20, like where you knock 20 houses on each side and then the 30 houses across the street.
Yep.
That helped a lot. And just your follow up, like be really consistent with your follow up. I'm really
Mhm.
bad at it, but even though I'm really
Don't say
bad
you're
at
really
it,
bad at it.
I will say that I'm bad at it. I still do it, just not as consistently as I could.
Calendar.
Calendar,
Mhm.
and oh my gosh, all of the CRMs are basically the same, but make sure you have a CRM that you can really use,
Mhm.
and that's easy to set up and things like that. Um, and then those are the things that I'm like
Those are the necessities.
the necessities.
Mhm.
Also, new realtors starting out, I would always get like a Google number,
Yeah.
right? Because no one told me to do that, and so
Mhm.
like now my personal number is everywhere.
Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna get a different phone.
Yeah. But see, I've had the same number since I was 16 and I'm 37 now. So it's like my personality now is my phone number.
Yeah.
um but then also getting an email
Mhm.
like that you always have. Because you can sync that with other emails to get all of your emails in one place. And I never
Yeah.
did that. And so every time I've changed a brokerage, I've had to get a new email. So those are also things
Yeah.
that kind of go into the consistency thing where like that way you're consistent in all of your bases. So you always have the same thing for the rest of eternity, basically.
So you would say, just like everyone else, consistency over everything.
Yes.
Isn't it funny that everyone's like, hey, we got to be consistent. And then everyone's like, what's the secret to success? And everyone expects it to be like one hot button issue. No,
Yeah.
it's literally always
Mhm.
consistency.
For sure. Yeah.
Always.
Always. And then people are like, well, how are you consistent? And it's like, it looks different for everyone,
Yeah.
you know? So you got to find your niche too, like what you're good at. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
know one of us on our team is really good at cold calling. Another one is really good at door knocking. Another one is like fire at open houses. So like you got to find what you're good at. And I would find that early.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
try everything. But then once you find something that you're good at or that you vibe with, like keep with that and stay consistent with that thing.
Yeah. I think like one thing that really accelerated my business is I was doing like all these consistent behaviors and then I was just providing value
Mm-hmm.
and I never asked for the business. That was
Yeah.
like the one little like I guess if we're talking about a red button issue, that was the one thing that I started doing where I was like, "Oh, I can just ask people if they want to work with me."
Yep.
A lot of times people aren't getting asked, "Hey, can we work together? I really
Yeah.
like you."
Mm-hmm.
People
Yeah.
don't ask that.
They don't. Not enough anyways.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now you've been at CIC just over half a year.
Yeah.
And how do you think that being at this company has changed your business?
Okay. Well, that's a hard question to answer because last year I didn't do any business.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold my last house in April of last year. And so, with that being said, there's reasons for that and we can talk about them later or not at all because either one is
I would
great
just
for
say
me.
it like it's really real to say that like this business isn't always consistent.
It isn't always
And
consistent.
there's
Life. Go ahead. Sorry.
there's a lot of times where like life happens and
Mm-hmm.
things get away. So I mean, you had a pretty big life.
It was a traumatic end to 2024 and beginning of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom and I have always been really close. I'm
Mm-hmm.
an only child. She was my best friend, like my sister, my mom, all kind of wrapped into one. She was 16 when she had me. So like I say when we had me.
We did it together.
We did this together.
I mean, technically, you did.
For real though.
You did do it together.
45 hours of labor. We were a team, man. But so with that being said, in 2024, the end of 2024, we found out that she had cancer. Yeah. And so that was really hard. The end of like halfway through the year, she started getting sick and we just didn't know what was wrong. And I can't say now, but like I can say that I think that she was just scared to go in. Like I think she knew something was wrong, like seriously wrong. Sorry. And so we finally made her go in to like the doctor in August because she couldn't like get in the shower on her own and she like couldn't eat things and stuff like that. And we found out that I remember I had just left the hospital and I was on my way. And if anyone knows like the cities, I was literally driving past Roseville Mall and I was on like County Road C in Snelling. And I remember I got a call from the doctor and he didn't even ask me where I was. He didn't ask me if I was driving. He just said, hey, you should probably come back to the hospital because we found cancer.
Oh my
God. And I literally lost my shit. Excuse me, sorry. My boyfriend and my dad had to come and like pick me up from the like smack shack that's over there or whatever it was. The Shake Shack that was over there because I had to like pull into the parking lot to like bawl my eyes out. And so then we went back to the hospital because they came to pick me up and like they had told my mom by herself too. Like they didn't call us to be like, hey, can you come back because we have to like talk to your mom. They told her while we weren't there.
I don't know. Like that is horrible. And if they would have called you and said like, you have to come back, we've got something important to tell you, you would have been freaking out either way.
I would have been freaking out either way, but I probably wouldn't have like bawled my eyes out when they told me that there was nothing they could do for it in the middle of like Snelling Avenue.
Oh. I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you should come back. She has cancer. We have to come up with a game plan.
Yeah. That would have been so much better. But no, this doctor had no bedside manner whatsoever.
Wow.
Which again, maybe in my like crazy stupor of my mom's dying, I just didn't hear stuff. Right?
Dude, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. So picked me up, went back to the hospital. Found out that there wasn't really anything they could do. She had something called cholangiocarcinoma, which is bile duct cancer. Had never heard of it until she got it.
Very quick way to learn.
Yeah. Learned that only like one in every 100,000 people get it. My family is a go big or go home kind of people when it comes to medical things. Like I have 4 different like mental health issues. My dad has a lung disease that only like 5 people in the country had when he got diagnosed in 2009.
Weird.
Yeah. We're like go big or go home kind of people.
That's cool. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's something special about you.
Yes, exactly. And so when we got to the hospital, they were like, it's too far, like it's progressed too far. Your bile ducts are something that go from, I think, like your gallbladder into your like liver.
Yeah.
And so like they can't remove them because, you know, like it's ingrained in there basically, like they're embedded in those things. And it was just too far along. And so we had 6 really great weeks with her. And yeah. And so
you probably took off work for that.
Yeah. But I still sold 4 houses in that time.
Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. I feel like that was like whatever higher being there is being like, hey, you're about to not make money for a while.
Yeah. And I didn't make money for a year. Because on top of that, then I had another uncle. My mom passed away on October 31st. And I have a really dark sense of humor. And Halloween is my favorite.
That is a little spooky.
It is, right? My favorite holiday is Halloween. My mom's
too.
favorite holiday was Christmas. I hate Christmas, and I always made it such a terrible holiday for her that I feel like she died on October 31st just to spite me.
Go big or go home.
Right? Exactly.
This is for like any good person listening to this podcast.
Please
they're gonna
don't
be
like cut this part out.
They're like, no, we're not cutting this out. They're like, those people have a really dark sense of humor.
You should work with us. We're really fun.
We're pretty fun. I mean, we can do both.
Yeah, exactly. I can be serious.
But we've also this happened a while ago. We've had the hard conversations.
Yes.
We are also friends. Like we're to the point where we can joke.
For sure. I've had all of the firsts like the first Christmas without her, the first
Yeah.
Mother's Day without her. Like, so we're kind of working through that. I just had so one of my friends does a Mother's Day like tea every year. They throw a whole like tea party with like all the scones and like 3 like different like sections of like
Super cute.
snacks and stuff like that. And it was a Mother's Day one. And one of the like her mom's friends comes to all of them, and I asked her if she could be my mom for this one because she doesn't have any kids.
Yeah.
But then I brought my mom's urn with us to the tea, and they set up a whole little spot for her at this tea party.
That's cute.
Yeah. So those are the kinds of things I do.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. Keep her around.
But yeah, so from my mom passing away on October 31st, then my uncle passed away in December. And then my boyfriend's grandpa passed away in January.
Jesus.
And then my boyfriend's aunt passed away in February. And then March of 2024 or 2025, my boyfriend lost his job. And so it was just a lot of things.
Yeah.
All wrapped into one. And I never got time to like really grieve my mom. Like I thought my mom and I were going to be in a nursing home together. Like, you know. So with all those other things happening, like I had like 30 days to grieve my mom.
Yeah.
And
wow.
so and granted, like I got 6 weeks with her, so I had time to like process that like this was happening, but I didn't have time for her to be like gone. And so once April hit and I had that last closing, I hadn't worked from like for those 6 weeks. So like they say that real estate is a 90-day turnover. Like the things that you do now will create business in
For
90
sure.
days.
Yeah.
And so 6 weeks, I didn't prospect. I didn't do anything because I was basically my mom's like hospice nurse. I had a lot of help, thankfully. Even though I'm an only child, I keep a really tight circle. And all of my friends and family really know how to rally.
Yeah.
And so like I wouldn't have been able to do it without any of them. But again, like I wasn't just my mom's daughter during the process. I was also her caretaker and things like that.
And selling 4 houses.
Thankfully, one of them was a friend who was like, I just want you to get a paycheck, but we're doing new construction. So here, just put your name on the contract.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, thanks.
There you go.
But yeah, so since April of last year, I haven't sold anything because I've been too emotionally drained. Like getting out of bed was too hard. Some mornings I would wake up and be like, why am I even doing this? Because, again, and I know that sounds really crazy, but my mom was a super important person in my life.
Well, and compile that with everything else.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of, it's hard to find the point in it all.
Yeah. And so, I was on my previous team and my previous team was great. But it came to a point where it was like, hey, you're not doing any business. Like, what are you going to do? And I was just like, I don't know. And I was like, you know, like, when they came to me with that conversation, it just kind of, I was taken aback. And not in a bad way at first, but then the more I looked at it, I was just kind of like, why, if this person who you knew was so important to me passed away, like she was my mom, my sister, and my best friend, like all wrapped into one, like, would you be able to handle losing all of those people all at once? And so like, I was like, yeah, of course, I'm really ready to like hit the ground running. But when I like went back and thought about it, like, I was like, the way that it was brought to me, I was just like, why would I make money for people who don't believe in me?
Oh.
And like they're probably gonna see this podcast and be like, Felicia, we did believe in you. And I'm really sorry if that's how it comes across, because that's not how I want it to come across. Because like I learned so much from my previous team. Like the realtor I am today is a lot of their help, like, and their influence and stuff like that. And but I just was like, I don't know that this is the place for me anymore. And So I called you up, had a meeting with you because I saw that you were with this new brokerage, and I was like, what is this?
It's a
Like,
fun brokerage.
it's so fun. And this was a long story to get to the fact that, like, when we sat down and I told you about my mom, you cried, like, when we first started talking about her. You, like, instantly were like tears hit your eyes. And I was like, you know, I think I want to be there. And then I learned more about the brokerage.
You like a crybaby?
I do. I love a crybaby.
Look,
if it's not me
I'm
crying
right now.
if it's not me crying, it's always better.
Why are you laughing at me, Makita?
Why are you crying?
Because we talked about dead moms, okay, Makita?
I went back to that moment.
I told my friend the other day, speaking of my dark personality, our birthdays are super close together, and he came to my house, and he and his wife came to my house and took me out for my birthday. And his wife was like, his mom didn't even call him on his birthday. And I looked at him and I was like, it makes you feel any better. My mom didn't say happy birthday to me either.
I hope the mic picked up Makita's comment.
I hope so. If it didn't, we can just voice it over. Makita's like, I can't work with these people anymore.
Yeah, Makita, it's you actually can't quit.
No.
He literally can't.
No,
so.
I know. But nothing to fall back on anymore.
So like we met. I remember that meeting too, because that, like, I mean, at that time my dad had cancer too, so it was just like, oh fuck, like it's real.
Yep.
And yeah, so and it was just really nice that like I felt like I could create like a safe / similar space for you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just feels good. And like, yes, I'm the leadership in Minnesota, but I feel like the leadership of corporate is also really supportive.
Literally, like the CEO and CEO know my name. Like I could call them and they'd be like, hey, Felicia, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
You know, and so it's nice to be at a brokerage where I feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like no matter how big we get, because like right now we're at 500 and something agents, right?
I think we're close to 6. We just opened Canada.
Nice.
That helped.
600 agents like across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Aprillia and Chad know everyone by name.
Yeah.
Like, and that's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we were talking about the brokerage and we were talking about like commissions and structure and like things like that, part of the reason I got into real estate is because the harder I work, the more like I'll see a benefit of it, right? And with CIC, I get to take more of that home with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, again, like I said, feel seen here. Like, and we have trainings every week where there's like 20 or 30 agents that like are consistently on there. Again, consistency is important.
Yeah.
So we have like 4 or 5 trainings a week where these people are always there and they're always willing to share ideas with you and make sure that you feel seen and heard and things like that. And so that was really exciting to not be on a like Zoom of 500 people anymore or like,
yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like, even if you want to meet with our trainers, so she's talking about the brokerage wide trainings, which are every day. And if you want to meet with one of our trainers, we've got a go high level specialist. We've got a lot of like motivational specialists. We've got regulatory specialists. We've got a tax advisor coming on and talking tomorrow.
Haas Pratt is on all the time and he's like an AI guru.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. His trainings are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But then also just like on our team here in Minnesota, like there's like how many, I feel like we have at least like 50 years of experience, like all combined with all of our agents. And so if you have a problem, you know that someone else is going to have had that problem before.
For sure.
You know, and so like it's really nice to be in that mindset of having a team that I always know that I can go to. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty eye-opening. And like aside from all the things that the brokerage actually provides, when you're on 100% commission, you don't have to sell them any houses. Like,
no.
I know you're on the team, but like So you do have a little bit of a split, but you also have more value too.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's worth it. It's worth it because, again,
Mm-hmm.
like, we don't have a brokerage fee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have a cap.
Yeah.
Right? So even with our like team split, it's still worth it because I'm able to sell like 3 less houses a year and still make
Yeah.
the same amount. So like, again, I have more time, and like my grieving process was easier to get through when I was a part of CIC because I had more time, because I didn't have to work so hard to still do what I needed to do to like enjoy my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least
So-
like get back to normal.
Normal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything in real estate is normal, but
No, nothing
You
in
know,
life is normal.
that's
Honestly.
fair,
There's a hot
honestly.
take.
honestly, so
Well, as we wrap up, is there any like one-liners that you want to give out to other agents who might be listening that could use a little bit of advice? And it can be a two-liner if you need to.
see, girl, you didn't send me these questions beforehand.
This one I made up right now.
You made up right now.
Yep.
I don't have, my brain doesn't work like that.
Hmm.
Let me think. Give me like 30 seconds. One liner. Does it have to be about real estate?
No.
I don't have any like one-liners that I live by every day. I
What kind of business do you want to build?
I want to build a business that I guess helps people. Like, the reason that I got into real estate is because like I was in massage therapy and I wanted to help people. But I got into you know what? Okay. I figured it out. So the other day, Carson and I,
Mhm.
you guys have seen Carson on this podcast before. He's a hoot. But he and I decided to figure out our whys because I've never been able to figure out my why,
Mm.
right? And my why is to like turn keys into sanctuary because that's what I feel like a home is.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. And I feel like everyone deserves that. Like,
Mhm.
everyone deserves a space where they feel like they can be themselves and can be calm
Mhm.
and not have to deal with the BS that goes on in the world around them.
Yeah.
And so that's what my why is to turn keys into sanctuary. And so like
Is that your tagline?
It should be. But I don't know how that tagline would work with my Bye Felicia as my handle,
Mm.
you know? So we're going to have to figure that
Well, you
out.
could buy keys and turn them into sanctuaries.
I could.
Keys are like $198 at Ace Hardware.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that's
Squatters'
fair.
rights. Thank you so much for being on. I always appreciate your insights. I really appreciate that you're part of CIC.
Thank you.
And thank you for building the business you have. Thanks for giving in back to all the clients that you always do.
Thank you.
And I am just really excited to be in business with you.
You as well. So we should have done our hang loose.